Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is T-Rex, Milano T-Rex. This video is going to be a continuation of the sketching from the last one, and I'm going to discuss how to design a negative space and just a couple of points here and there about Manga Studio. I have a video about how to draw hair, if you guys really interested about drawing hair and finding out some tricks and so you can improve on it. Yeah. Check out my videos. The link is right here. This one. This is gonna take you to the video where you can practice hair. Yeah. So now I want to show you one thing. Look at this. See. Now that I have worked so hard on this one, I don't want to draw the glasses on top of her eyes because you know you get really attached to something that you spent a lot of time on. So that's why I'm going to just create another layer right here. Hold on, let me change that to color. And zoom in. Create the glasses. So kind of this way, like so. Now I can actually be more comfortable doing it because it's in another layer, right? It's not in the same layer. It's in another layer. If I don't like it, I can remove it. I can just remove it. Now, see here that I have done the glasses. I can just, there it goes. Here's back on. And with that, you can actually, encourage yourself to try new things and like that. So that's one of the things with digital art versus traditional. It's not that I'm against traditional, it's that I see positive and negative in both. So yeah, whatever suits you, do it. Speaking about negative space, so the negative space is anything that is outside the drawing, right? So this is the object, right? Now she is the object, and whatever outside that till the border of the panel is the negative space. And you need to have interesting shape of the negative space. So you can see this shape is pretty interesting, and this shape is pretty interesting. This one is kind of okay too. So how can I tell if the negative space is interesting or not? Like I said in one of the videos that I uploaded, this is a shape, but this is another shape, so more interesting than the previous one. It's because the more similar the edges are, or the shape overall, it gets really boring. So with that, you have to make it different. So exaggerate a little bit from here, like so. You see that? So now this is a much more interesting rectangle than this one. This one is much more interesting. And when you have it, like for example, when you have a shape in it, you don't want it to, dissect it just right in the middle. You go a little bit to the side. You want it to be asymmetrical, that's one. Another thing is that you want it to look different. Okay? To look different. Now, how do you apply that on negative space? Now, if you have a perfect triangle as a negative space, that is boring. But why did I say it's not that boring when I did it? Because you have this part cut, so the rectangle is not totally rectangle. It's just, has a part that is cut here, right? And there you go. So this versus this, right? This one has a much more interesting look to it. And this one is much more interesting than this one. See, because it has a longer side than the other. It's asymmetrical. So yeah, you kind of see the same thing applies here and there. So it's just about shapes, no? It's just about shapes. Now look at this shape. Right? Look at this shape. So for example, those two edges are not parallel. This one diverges here, and this one diverges there, and you get really thin at this area. You know, stuff like that. So yeah. So the tool that I use is the dark pencil. I like the how it flows and the opacity of it and all that. It's a default tool right there with the pencil. So I press P to go to it. If I press P again, I go to the ink, and the ink is going. I use the G pen to make the characters and the mapping pen to make the background. So the tool that I use to tilt the head and all that, so I just press M, and you see it goes to the selection tool right here, and I just select whatever I want to tilt and press this button right here. Okay, I click this one, and I move this to the pivot point, so that's going to be the neck, and move the head the way I want, right? And click enter if you want it, or escape if you don't. In this case, escape. Okay, so I set this this folder, this manga folder, the fruit shop right here. See this folder, I set it to black and white. So that's why when I create a new layer here, it goes monochrome, which is black and white, right? I put it to colors because if I leave it to monochrome, you see with the dark pencil, you go like this. So let me just zoom in so I can show you the difference. So that's how I go with this layer and this one with this layer. You see? It's much more smudged here, and this one is more like an ink. That's the effect that I don't want. It doesn't help me sketching at all. And the difference also here, if you press slowly on your tablet, you can see the difference. It has higher opacity here, right? That's also something you need when you draw manga or sketch overall, not manga only, but overall. You want that effect. So yeah, what I wanted to say is that it is important before you go to ink to press this one right here. See, click the layer color, and then it goes to blue, and then you make a new one and start ink. But that's not for now. Not for now. This usually, traditionally, when you have a blue pencil like this, it's a pencil that is not printable, scannable. Okay. So it's easier for you to draw with this kind of pencil traditionally and then ink it so you can have a clean piece. So this is more like mimicking it for people who worked on traditional. But you can actually change the color too, so you can change the color if you want. I'm gonna try something different here. Instead of the Japanese, you see this panel with the Japanese girl, go ohashi, and that one is not bad, but I'm gonna make a more interesting one. I'm gonna make a close-up on the chopsticks, right? So actually both of these two final panels are actually kind of similar. So let me put up the draft sketch. So if you look at this panel, it kind of resembles this one in terms of the Japanese face. Now this is a draft sketch. You see, this one needs to go with perspective. Although it's a simple one, but I'm going to show you a trick how to do it with no time. So usually when you want to make a cute anime character or manga character, so you just, for example, when you start off with the head, you don't go like I'm going with the Russian girl and the Martian. You don't go down for the jaw because it makes them look older, probably more mature, and sometimes manlier. Sometimes manlier if you make him square, like I'm doing with the Martian. But if you want to make the character cute, just go just a little tiny bit, just a little tiny bit right here, like that, and then you keep the roundness here of the cheeks. that makes a cute character. So just a fast tip on how to make a cute character. Make that and call it kawaii as much as you want. Giving her a bigger head, gonna make her a little more cuter. That's for sure. That's guaranteed, ladies and gentlemen. That's guaranteed. And yeah, I think we're all done. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, anything, any concerns, please put them down there in the comment section below. So with this, yeah, you guys stay tuned.